Next is grievance. Grievance. What is grievance? Grievance is generally means giving a complaint. An employee is giving complaint to the management people. Either it may be a immediate boss or to the HR department. It is generally means an employee is giving some complaint. The complaint may be various issues. Maybe the complaint may be with the another employee or with the mission or with the department. So the complaint may be anything, but a grievance is something the employee will give complaint to the management. That is called grievance. A complaint becomes a grievance when brought to the notice of the management. So when the complaint will become grievances, when the complaint is given to the management, then it is called as grievances. If the complaint is if the complaint is given to some co-workers or some peers, means it is just a complaint. It is just a topic where the employees are discussing. But when it becomes grievance, means that complaint is taken to the management. So in that situation, that complaint will become a grievances. A complaint is a discontent that has not assumed importance. A complaint becomes grievances when the employee feels that injustice has been committed. A type of discontent and dissatisfaction that affects organizational performance. It can be either stated or unvoiced, written or oral, legitimate or ridiculous. So a complaint may be any kind. So if the complaint is given in the form of written, or if the complaint is given in the form of oral, or if the complaint is ridiculous, means if the complaint is taken to the management, then it is the duty and responsibility of the manager to resolve the grievances. It may be a ridiculous complaint, but the management has to take steps to resolve the grievances. So when the complaint, an employee will give grievances, or when the employee will give complaint, when the employee feels dissatisfied, or when the employee feels that injustice is happened to him or them. If the employee feels that injustice is happening to them, or particular employee is feeling injustice is happening to him. So at that point of situation, the employee will give grievance to the management. Next, grievance handling. How you can handle the grievances? So to handle the grievances, there is a sort of procedure, or there is some procedure to handle the grievances. So the proceedings are informal in nature. See, based on the complaint or based on the grievances, that grievances may be addressed in a formal way or informal way. If the grievances is it's a little grievance, means then it can be addressed informally. But if the grievance is a bigger grievance, or that is related to management grievances, means then that should be handled in a formal way. Say for example, some employee is taking the employee property. Some little employee, say for example, some employee is taking, or the employee is involved in the theft. Okay, so that will be another employee found out. Another employee has finds the theft of the employee. Then that can be taken as a grievances. That should be resolved. That should be redressed in a formal way. Okay, so generally this grievance will be in a informal in nature. If the grievance choose to take a legal action, then choose to take legal action, the internal grievance process will cease. And all employees, include the grievance, shall cooperate at all the stages in investigating of a grievances. Detailed grievance procedure is required. So, if grievance as arise means it is a small grievance or a big grievance or a ridiculous grievance or a important grievance, no matter how the grievance is, you have to redress the grievances in a formal way. You have to redress the grievances, or you have to resolve the grievances. You should not leave the grievances as it is. But as the management people or as the HR of the organization, you should take some steps to resolve the grievances. No grievances should be left out as it is. Every grievance should be addressed. Next is a detailed investigation should involve in redressing the grievances. Okay, and if grievant means who is giving the complaint. Grievance is the complaint to the management. Grievant means who is given the complaint to the management. So, for example, A is the employee has given some grievance to the management means A is called as grievant. So, including the grievant, all the employees should be investigated regarding the grievances given by the particular employee. If the employee is not satisfied, say for example, if the A employee has given the grievance to the management, and management they have taken step to redress the grievances, but if the A employee is not satisfied with the decision given by the management, they can appeal to the labor court. Okay, so they can appeal to the labor court and they can go for a legal action. If the employee went for a legal action means, then the committee who has involved in the internal grievance handling, that is the HR department who is involved in handling the, or who is involved in redressing the grievances, they have to come out from the grievances. Okay, they have to lift the grievances because legal action, the employee has sorting for legal action. So they should not involve, the internal committee should not involve in redressing the redressing the grievances. The court will take up the matter and it will solve the grievances. Next, the grievance handling process. What are all the process in handling the grievances? There is stage 1 and stage 2. In stage 1, the grievance shall state the nature of the grievances in writing. So the one who is giving the complaint, they have to give the complaint in written format, not in a oral format, but in a written format, they have to give the complaint. Next is the suggestion of the departmental official shall be given in writing to the grievant. After investigation, the suggestion or the decision should be given in written to the grievant, or this decision should be given in written to the employee who has raised the complaint by the department head. Okay, first the employee who has given the complaint should give their complaint to the department head, not to the HR or not to the management. Say for example, if an employee who is in production department, if they have any grievances means, then they have to give a written complaint to their head of the department. Head of the production department, they have to give that employee has to give the written complaint. And whatever the investigation is done by the head of the department, that is the production head, then they have to come for a decision. And that decision should be given in a written format to the employee who has raised the complaint. Okay. Next, copies of the appeals and decisions shall be forwarded to HR. So after giving the decision in a written format to that particular employee who has raised the complaint, then copy of a appeal and also the copy of the complaint and also the decision of that complaint should be given to the HR department. That is the stage 1. If the employee is not satisfied with the decision made by the head of the department, they can appeal to HR department. If the employee is not satisfied with the stage 1 decision, then they can apply to stage 2, that is to HR department. Then the grievant can apply, or the grievant can give their appeal to the HR department. The HR has to investigate the appeal and they have to give the decision in writing to the senior officer, okay, or to the management. Next, if that is the final, HR decision is the final decision. If that is also not satisfied, the employee is not satisfied with that decision also, they can appeal for a legal action. Next is basic element of grievance procedure. First, in existence of sound channel of communication, the procedure should be simple, definite, and prompt. It should be clearly defined. First one is in the organization, there should be a proper channel of communication. First thing is, you have to make your employee aware if they have any grievances, means immediately who they can approach. Once that is not solved, then what is the second stage? Then what is the third stage? So you have to make your employees aware what is the first step, second step, and third step for redressing the grievances. Next is the procedure should not be complicated. It should be very simple, definite, and prompt. It should be clearly defined. So whatever the grievances the employee is having, that should be clearly defined, and whatever the decision the management is coming or the management is having, that should also be very clearly defined. Next is helpful attitude of the management. Once the employee, as I already told you, if the employee is having any kind of grievances, means that then it is the duty or the responsibility of the management to redress the grievances. So it is the helpful attitude, that the attitude of the management should be in a helpful manner. Next is fact oriented, respect for decision, adequate publicity, periodic review. So whatever the decision is given by the management, that should be respected by the employee. If they are accepted, means that should be that decision should be respected. And adequate publicity means if a particular grievance is raised in a sales department or a particular department, so that grievance should be redressed or what, and a decision should be made. So that grievance and the decision should be that decision and grievances, you have to make all the employees in the organization aware of that, so that they will know what is the grievance of the particular employee and what is the decision the management has come. So you have to make all the employees aware of that particular grievance and decision. Next is periodic review. So once the decision has come, once the decision is made by the management, as a HR of the organization, you have to periodically review whether the employee is following the decision or not. So this is the grievance procedure. So grievance is something it is a complaint of the employees. Once a complaint is given by an employee, it is the duty of the management to solve the complaint. And to solve the grievance of the employee, there is a stage 1 and stage 2. In stage 1, first the employee has to give, or they have to submit the grievances to their head of the department. And the head of the department, they have to investigate and they have to come for a decision. That decision is not satisfied by the employee. That decision is not satisfied for that employee, then they can appeal for stage 2. Stage 2 is the human resource department. So in that stage 2, that grievance should be investigated in detail, and HR has to come out with a decision. And that decision is a final decision. If that decision is also not satisfied for that particular employee, then he can approach for a legal action. This is the formal way of redressing the grievances. So with this, we have we have entered the employee relationship management module number, I think 8. Module number 8 we have completed. In this module number 8, what we have discussed was understanding the joining formalities and leaving procedure, various types of communication, gamification technique, concept of human resource roundtable, role play training, handling grievances. So in this module 8, we have discussed these topics. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. With this, we have ended this module.